let's continue. In the previous tutorial we worked with our interior environment. Now we're gonna start expanding to our exterior, and it's gonna have first floor is gonna have a little ledge, a little staircase going down. This is gonna be a tall, maybe 3 to 4 story building, and there's gonna be a mountain surrounding this this area. There's also gonna be a cliff edge to it. So here I am again. You can see that I am always referencing back to my scale model, even though I know that my walls are going to be the same. I always want to make sure that I'm on scale, especially as I'm expanding to outside and building up my floor. I don't want my floor to be too big. So here I'm just, it's going to be an overhang of the building. It's going to be like an under area. And I'm doing a little overhang on the right hand side as well. So here I'm looking for a column, see if I find any column prop static, and I am not, so I'm just going to stairs, see what kind of staircases I have, see if I want to build a staircase out of geometry or use a model for it. So it looks like I found one, so I'm just going to place it where I think my staircase is going to go. So again, I'm just blocking in, and I'm just going to build a column out of just basic geometry. And I'm always right here, right now. I am on grid 8. I usually work on 16. So if for a little finer geometry, for more detailed, I bump it up to lower to about 8 for. But when I'm blocking in, I'm using grid snapping on 16. And here I just quickly selected them all and grouped them. So there's all the columns are one single object. It's easier for selection. And now I'm expanding up, creating I'm also testing how many floors do I want, and I'm just expanding the whole building up, scaling across, and just kind of seeing how it looks from afar. So now I am building up the ledge, that staircase area. There's going to be a little space between the staircase and the top area. On that top area outside, there's going to be more tables, more cafeteria style tables. So here I'm looking for possible railing if I want to use, but I end up not using any railing at this point. But it's always cool to see if you want to build stuff out of if you want to use already created props, or if you want to create your own, or if you want to build them out of just basic geometry and then convert them to prop detail. And I'll go into what prop detail and everything else and how to actually create your own props later. But here I'm just continuing to expand my environment outside into the exterior area, and so it is a fairly kind of slow process. If you've never done this before, this is the way I work. If I'm sure people have different workflows, so this is my own workflow. It may or may not suit some people, which is fine. You have to find your own. You have to create a couple of levels, kind of find your own. Perhaps you can adapt what I'm using here, and perhaps this will help you out a lot. It's also I always find it useful to see how people work, and I really get I learn a lot just by watching people how they work, and a lot of times I just see something that I can use, something they did, and just anything that speeds up my own workflow, I try to implement into my own work. So I'm always out there reading tutorials and just watching people as well, how they work, and try to implement that in my own work. Because you don't really need to spend thousands and hundreds of hours on a map. If your workflow is fast enough, if you know what you're doing, you know what you want, you can create it. You could create amazing looking maps fairly quick. So here I'm just building up the bottom of the floor, and as you could see, I didn't need to resize any of that. What I did was I took the window from above, which had the height already, which was 128 units tall. That's the average height of walls inside Hammer, inside Left4 Dead. So I just scaled that down. I selected them all, shift drag, duplicate it, move to the bottom, and just kind of resized the window. So here I'm resizing the windows, and just a little, so they're different from the ones above. And I've also put down a model, the scale model down, so I can see, so I can test the scale right there, and I can see it. And I'm just creating a couple of windows, a wall, and now I am going to be creating a little doorway with a little step going up. And the doorway is 96, I believe 96 units tall, or 88. Yeah, I think it's 88 units tall. And here I'm expanding further. I'm just selecting and duplicating, moving over, shift dragging, and so once I created my basic room and the interior, I'm using the same geometry, same walls, same everything, and just expanding out, duplicating, moving. Shift dragging and just reselecting the same things I already created, and it just allows you for such a fast workflow. And once you get a hang of it, it goes by so quick. And also always work on grid. You always want to be snapping to grid and moving, and making sure that you leave no holes, so you don't have any errors or any leaks. Because the way this is working right now is we are pretty much working in the void, but I know I'll be blocking everything off. So there'll be no possible way for any entities or any other objects to go into the void. Everything will be blocked off and sealed off. So I'm always keeping that in mind as well. I don't want to start detailing. I need to block everything off and close off my environment. So once you get a hang of how this works, you'll be a lot more confident in working in this kind of expanded environment and then blocking everything off. So here I am again moving my scale model, seeing how that walkway, the little side alley, is going to look, if I need to make it bigger or smaller. And here I'm getting close to being done with this part of the tutorial. Right now it's double speed, as you can notice, as you can see, and so that way I can just talk of my workflow. There's nothing really new that I'm adding here. This is the ladder that we're going to build later in the tutorial, where I'm going to show you how to use the function ladder, and we're complete.